Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Ledger. I am Cage. That is Chair. Right there.
Chair.
Yeah.
That's me. Yep.
Yeah, we're back. We're going to talk about lots of stuff today, including Daredevil episodes 5 and 6 of Born Again. It's like the mid-season point now. They released like a mid-season trailer that I didn't watch because why would I?
Yeah, what's the point of that? That's so dumb.
So, yeah. But we'll talk about those episodes, and then there's some news. There's some news. I don't know if you know about the news, but
Nah, I'm pretty tuned out these days, like usual.
well, essentially they released a large list of names over the course of hours in a video of the cast of Avengers Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of names to go through.
Okay.
And then there's some other stuff that's like not super important, but there's some controversy about Snow White. We don't really care about that here, but you know.
No, we don't.
It's
I saw videos of the dwarves. They look like shit. We keep saying here in this channel, like making a movie is a big going to see a movie is a big decision for a lot of people these days. If you're gonna see a trailer and you're gonna see something awful, and anyone who goes and sees it says it's the worst thing they've ever seen, like universally, like
yeah.
if the critics say that, they're not gonna go and see the movie. So the box office performance doesn't like surprise me at all. Like
Well,
just
a lot
watch the
of the
trailer.
early critics said it was really good, and then obviously it's been review bombed since then. But really, it's the lead actress who kind of tanked the movie in a lot of ways from things that she said. And really, the news isn't necessarily about the movie; it's more about the things Disney did to try to counteract what was going on behind the scenes, or even like externally from the movie. Because of the actress and things like that. So there's an article out there about that. There's an article about Ben Affleck was recently talking about the Batman or his Batman and kind of what he thinks went wrong with that. And then there's some random other things. But we'll talk about Daredevil first since it's fresh in your mind.
Yep.
So yeah, Daredevil Born Again episodes 5 and 6. So episode 5, you know, Matt he's at the bank. He's trying to get some extra money for his law firm. And he meets Yusuf Khan, who is Kamala Khan's dad, who is Miss Marvel. So it's funny because you had asked me last week if I think there will be like any like major MCU cameos, and Miss Marvel didn't cross my mind at all. For some reason. I mean, it's not like major, but again, she's not really even in the episode. They just talk about her a lot. But that was, you know, it's just another little, hey guys, look, we're in a connected world now kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And then, you know, Matt's you know, just trying to explain to Yusuf why he takes the tough cases and why they are over leveraged financially. And it doesn't really matter because, you know, that's the same reason why he can't get a loan. And then this Irish gang comes and tries to rob the bank that
On St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, that Matt was just at. And it's funny because a lot of Americans are pretty ignorant about St. Patrick's Day in general. And the guy, the main robber, when he's on the phone with the detective negotiator lady, he pretty much makes that exact point. And by the way, spoiler warning if you haven't watched the episodes. But he's pretty much saying, yeah, like Irish people don't give a fuck about St. Patrick's Day. Like they do not care. Really, if people really want to know the history of St. Patrick's Day, it is what it is today because Ireland saw that Americans would spend a bunch of money on it. And so if you go to Ireland, there are St. Patrick's Day parades, and it's literally just to make money off of tourism. Like that's what St. Patrick's like. It's not a Hallmark holiday. Like some holidays exist just to sell Hallmark cards, but it is essentially a holiday to make money for, you know, because Americans will spend money to get drunk. That's
Yeah,
You know.
I just noticed that day we have like corned beef and cabbage and the corn. I love corned beef personally. I think it tastes really good, but
Yeah.
that's just me. Um, so it's like the one day a year I do the corned beef and cabbage, so might as well just have some corned beef and cabbage, and
Yeah.
that's all I know. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but this is probably one of the better episodes I've watched actually this season. Like I thought it just felt a lot like classic Daredevil. I wish
Yeah.
it had more Daredevil in it because, like, again, you keep saying there's no actual Daredevil in the show so far, and there wasn't in this episode either, technically, even though he was doing Daredevil things.
Yeah, I mean the closest is
Um,
when he puts on the red mask he stole from the robber to fight the main guy at the end.
yeah,
But yeah, no, there's still really no Daredevil in it. But it is,
at all.
it is Matt Murdock being, Matt Murdock, very, badass. But yeah, because he hears the bank being robbed because he has super hearing, and he decide, he says call 911, and then he goes back to the bank and acts like a dumb fuck for no apparent reason. um, and yeah, so he goes back to the bank. He, Yusef lies and says he knows how to open the vault for some reason. And so he's gonna have to stall for Matt, and there's this back and forth between Matt and the main robber named Devlin. Lots of nice witty banter throughout the episode. And then Matt's like, he said he has to tinkle, so he beats the fuck out of a red mask dude and takes his mask, and then he opens the vault with his super hearing, and all that's in there are safety deposit boxes that require 2 keys, and one of the robbers had one of the keys on him, and the bank people have the other key, and so they open it up and find this massive diamond, and then Matt's like trying to convince the robbers, hey, time's up. The police are gonna storm this place. Let's wrap this shit up. Devlin leaves disguised as a cop, and there's someone who was inside the bank who like was kind of an associate. And he gives them the diamond and tells her, to give it to Luca. And then Matt chases Devlin down the street with the red mask. And then like he kind of seems very rusty when he's fighting him. Like he's kind of like getting his butt kicked a little bit,
Yeah.
And then he just beats the shit out of him and shatters his leg. And then you find out that he scammed those mother suckers. And Yusef invited him to dinner with his family, Miss Marvel and all that. And then finds the diamond left with some butterscotches. And that's that episode. And yeah, it's a very good episode.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got the action, it's got the acting, it's got the set pieces, it's got there's no CGI or anything like
The
that.
MCU connections,
Yeah,
if
it's
that's
got
what
like
people care
that
about.
going on. Yeah, yeah. I mean, not really. I'm just excited to see what they'll do with it. Like, am I super hype about it? Like, oh, bro. No, I'm not. I'm not like that at all. I don't get like that anymore about anything.
No.
But it is pretty cool to see. Like, and we'll see what they do, and maybe he'll be like in Thunderbolts for like 5 seconds or something like that. I don't know.
No, I
You
mean,
know.
you hear it and you kind of just go, like, well, for me, I hear Miss Marvel and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I don't actually think they're going to show him go have dinner with them,
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think that'll happen within the frame of the show. So, but it was, it's a nice interaction, and it's like funny, like when he's trying to show him like the Funko Pop of Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can't really see that because he's blind, but, yeah. So, and then it kind of introduces us to this police negotiator lady because she shows up again in the following episode. But yeah, no, it's another thing that's building towards Matt kind of further losing faith in the police's ability to actually like work, and the system's ability to work, and having to take, having to essentially being forced to take measures into his own hands to make sure people didn't die, right? And so again, all this stuff. And the funny thing is, like, Wilson Fisk isn't even in this episode at all. But all of this is building towards essentially what happens in the following episode. So the first like 5.5, 6 episodes are all building this tension and this bringing Matt to a certain breaking point to where he gives in, right?
Yeah.
And then episode 6, we I don't know. I
We
don't
see
remember
the
if
we
it
see the we see the break. We see what happens. Like they've
yeah.
both him and Fisk. You keep talking about this duality. I've been picking up on the duality a little bit, but not too hardcore. But now this episode, like it's a very obvious and it's on its face now.
Yeah, their stories are like exactly mirrored, right? Like
Yeah, exactly mirrored.
little things, like eventually you get to the straw that breaks the camel's back, but before that, right, you're stacking up the straw, and
Yeah, exactly.
that's what the first half of this season has been, is just stacking up straw until they both break. Uh, in this episode, like one of the other breaking points for Fisk is all these rich people, that like he has to essentially like make them feel important so that they give him money for the things he cares about.
Yeah.
And one of the guys there, I'm pretty sure his name is Jack. He was the boyfriend of Kate Bishop's mom in Hawkeye, and he was also the swordsman, right? And
Yep.
there's like a BB report early in the episode where like someone shows a video of a swordsman, and I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, Muse is getting some spotlight finally, and he is leaving dead bodies everywhere. You get some sequences of Matt praying. Luca from the previous episode, who we only heard his name, came to visit Fisk, and that didn't really go well.
Nope.
Yeah, because Fisk is like, brother, pay the 1.8 million by the end of the week. And then Luca's like, go fuck yourself and your $1.8 million. And Fisk
Yep.
was not happy about that. And then Luca's like, you've been out of the game, old man.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's got to. I don't have good feelings about what's gonna happen to Luca, to be honest.
Yep.
And then Heather Glenn, the girlfriend of Matt Murdock and the therapist of Kingpin, apparently she's writing a book about vigilantes, and she wants to talk to maybe Frank Castle or Daredevil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Matt's just kind of like, you want to talk to the
Yeah.
Punisher, huh?
Okay, babe. That's basically what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
and it could potentially be setting up for this comic book storyline where like she finds out that Matt's Daredevil and like kind of hates Daredevil and ends up killing herself. Who knows? Who knows? That's pretty
It's
dark.
Daredevil. It could go dark. It's gone dark before. Like Jessica Jones was really, really dark. Like really dark the entire time. So I mean, it's all fair game. All fair game.
Yeah. Well, even in the episode 5 when he shattered that dude's leg, that was pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
Pretty gruesome.
There's always been a lot of bloody and intense bloody action though. Like there's like this episode 6 is mainly about a serial killer that drains people's blood. Apparently, like that whole
Yep.
sequence is disturbing and everything
Yep.
like that.
And
It really was.
he
But
mixes the blood with epoxy and paints murals around the city. And because the blood is mixed in with the epoxy, it's almost impossible to remove. Which again is another breaking point for Fisk. And yeah, Fisk. Oh, so there's other stuff, right? So there's this whole thing with Angela, who is Hector Ayala's niece. She goes and visits
yeah.
Matt, and she's like, "Hey, yo, Hector was working on something, and now people are missing. I'm pretty sure like that's what he was looking into, and can you do something?" And he's like, "I'm just a lawyer." And she's like, "Oh, well, apparently my uncle was right. Don't ask people to do something you could do yourself. So I'm gonna go do some stupid ass shit."
Yep.
And then
Tale as old as time.
what?
Tale as old as time.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, so then we get Fisk getting clowned by a bunch of billionaires who do absolutely nothing. Cherry, the old detective, tells Matt about Muse, but he expects him to let the police handle it, which was not going to happen.
Nope.
Fisk assembles this anti-vigilante task force of a bunch of corrupt cops, which is odd because he's like, go hunt Muse, and Muse is not a vigilante. But he wears a mask, so I guess maybe that's why. I don't know. And then, yeah, Angela does some dumb shit. She goes down in the sewers looking for Muse. Matt is doing all this research on the tunnels and the railways. He gets a call from Soledad, who is Angela's aunt,
Yeah.
that she's missing. He calls 911, but it's Daredevil time, bitch. He decides, hey, I ain't talking to you, 911. I'm going to go do it myself.
Yep.
Then you see Muse. He injects Angela with something. Don't really know what it was.
No, he hits
And
her with like an IV suction thing, and he starts sucking her blood out. It's
well,
like
he
really
like
weird
he
shit.
injected her with something in her arm, and then he did the
Oh.
maybe it was, I don't know, but yeah, then he was started to exsanguinate her, um, and then we get Fisk showing up where Adam is, with a big axe, and he's like, Vanessa would want me to let you leave, and Adam's like, oh, thank you, sir, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna tell you this story about when I was small and like some big dudes would try to fuck with me and I had to fight back and I'm gonna give you a chance to escape and here's your equalizer because I'm much bigger than you. Have this axe, and then he's like, come at me, bitch, and then they fight and I don't know if Adam's dead or not. I don't know,
Yep.
but he might be. Um, And then, yeah, Matt shows up as Daredevil. If he starts fighting Muse. Eventually, we also don't know if Muse is dead. So, yeah, and then he does CPR on Angela to save her, and that's pretty much it for that episode. But what did you think of episode 6?
It was good. It's getting a lot better. That's for sure. Like I had a pretty negative opinion so far because it seemed really cheesy. Like I liked Wilson Fisk like building his like own like police corrupt police kind of like like their own vigilante. They're very such. It's funny because they're essentially vigilante police. He's making vigilante
Yeah,
police.
to hunt
You know,
vigilantes.
they hunt vigilantes, and it's just really funny. That's a really funny way of looking at it. And
Hmm.
I think that uh the constant switching in the back and forth between them during their fight sequences was really good. Um, and I'm just so it's definitely on the turn for me. It's on the turn. That's a good thing. That's like turn around. I'm glad that it's turning around and not like just being awful the entire time. With like just random like Wilson Fisk is the mayor and it's just so ridiculous that he's the mayor and like ridiculous things keep happening around him. Again, like
Well,
where I'm slashing the red, Vanessa, I'm slashing the red tape. I'm gonna build the city up, Vanessa. Like
listen,
it's just, and he just like it's hard to
you know
understand.
what
Yeah,
they're doing.
yeah,
You know exactly what they're doing. It's not just drawing this mirrored story with him and Matt. They're pretty much saying Wilson Fisk is Donald Trump. Like absolutely. That's what they're saying. Donald Trump doesn't wait for things to be done the right way. He violates the Constitution constantly to get things done. That's what they're saying. Because
yep.
it's true. Not to make it political, and I'm not even saying he does the wrong things. I'm just saying there are right ways to do things, and the more you take away the real process, the more you strip civil liberties, and the more we disintegrate over time, and eventually people will just do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's essentially what Wilson Fisk is doing. Like, it's not that he's necessarily trying to do anything as the mayor that is bad or wrong in terms of like he could genuinely be care about the port and want to put this money into it to make it better and help commerce and help the city, but he's doing it the wrong way, trying to like go around the process, right? There's a process for a reason. So but that's what they're doing. Like it's not just like for the show. They're clearly like the episode 1 I think was like very evident like the parallels they were trying to draw between him and Trump. So but yeah. No, I thought episodes 5 and 6 were both very entertaining, very enjoyable. They're definitely trying to build some additional tension for other things, especially the relationship between Matt and Heather, and we'll see Punisher at some point again, I'm sure. But yeah, Muse is an interesting one because there are similarities between him and the comic book version of him, but there are also like some stark differences. Like more or less his purpose is pretty similar, right? Like he does, mix blood from people he murdered into paint and paint around the city. But in the comics, he does have powers. Like, he does have like super strength and different things. But his most important ability in comics is that he can, like, he's immune to Daredevil's like superpowers pretty much, where like he's pretty much invisible to Daredevil. Like, he can't sense where he is or how he's moving at all, which is like, makes him very dangerous for Daredevil. And it doesn't seem like he has those abilities here. Maybe it's like a thing that he hasn't learned yet, that like maybe he'll learn if he's still alive, because I don't really know. It seemed like he escaped at the end, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's alive.
Well, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. So, same with Adam. Is he alive? Is he dead? Don't really know. But I'm going to assume for now both are alive, because in comics and in comic book shows, people don't really always stay dead. So, but yeah, I'm just enjoying. I think it's entertaining, and I look forward to it every week. So.
Yeah, dude, it's so far like this is a really good change of pace from like like I said, the episodes that I watched previously. And I'm excited for more, and hopefully like we'll get a good just lead up to season finale where like the Punisher and like makes an appearance for most of the episode or something like that, or someone else like the Defender show up. I don't know. We'll see what happens for sure.
Yeah. But we can transition into some news now. So, the Avengers Doomsday cast. Okay, you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay, so
I probably won't know who most of these people are, and
All
then
right.
part of me also because doesn't care. But yes, I'm ready.
I'll say the names and you tell me who they play, and if you can't, then I'll tell you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Chris Hemsworth.
Thor.
Yeah. Vanessa Kirby.
No idea who that is.
Invisible Woman. She's not, she's not there yet, but she will be. Anthony Mackie.
Captain America.
Sebastian Stan.
Don't know who that is.
Winter Soldier or
Okay. Yeah.
Bucky. Yeah.
It's Bucky. Yeah.
Uh,
I told you some of these names I just don't know because like I don't like people people swing around like Chris Hemsworth names and Chris Evans name all the time. Not like.
Yep. Letitia Wright.
Don't know who that is.
She's the new Black Panther. She plays Shuri.
Okay.
Well, not the new, but she played Black Panther, right, in Wakanda Forever. So, Paul Rudd.
Ant-Man.
Yeah. Wyatt Russell.
Don't know who that is.
He's the evil Captain America from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. He's going to be in Thunderbolts as well. So, Tina Huerta Mejia.
That's probably the bald lady, huh?
No, that's Namor.
That's yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And there's some news about that too. People are pretty mad about him coming back. Aben Moss Bachrock. I'm not even gonna make you guess. He plays the Thing. Simu Liu.
Nope.
Shang-Chi.
Cool. All right, well, that's great. Shang-Chi was probably one of the better Marvel films we've seen, like, in the new generation, and they haven't done anything with it at all. So
Yeah.
It's about fucking time.
Doomsday. Yep. Florence Pugh.
I know that name, but I don't know that name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yelena, the sister of Natasha. Black Widow. Yeah. Kelsey Grammer.
The Beast.
Yeah, it's Beast. Lewis Pullman. I won't make you guess. He plays Sentry in the new Thunderbolts movie.
Okay.
Danny Ramirez.
Don't know who that is.
He's the new Falcon.
Okay.
Juan. Is it Juan?
Oh, he's like
Joaquin Torres. Yeah.
Joaquin Torres.
Yeah.
No.
Joaquin Torres is who Danny Ramirez plays, the new Falcon. He's not another actor. Okay. Joseph Quinn.
Don't know who that is.
Human Torch.
Okay.
David Harbour.
Don't know who that is.
He's the Red Guardian.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't see Black Widow, so But he's also gonna be in
Oh wait,
Thunderbolts. Yeah.
that's the guy from Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Winston Duke.
Don't know who that is.
He plays M'Baku from Black Panther. Hannah John Kamen. I'm not gonna make you guess. She plays Ghost. She was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second Ant-Man movie. The Ghost, the villain. Very memorable, definitely. Anyway, she's gonna be in Thunderbolts as well. So Doomsday Thunderbolts. Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, he's gonna be Spider-Man.
No, that's
No,
Tom
wait, that's
Holland.
Loki.
Yes.
That's Loki.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. The other Toms. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right, now we get to some fun names. Patrick Stewart.
Professor X.
Ian McKellen.
Magneto.
Yep, not Gandalf. Alan Cumming.
Don't know who that is.
He played Nightcrawler in X2. So I'm assuming he's coming back
That
as
was a
Nightcrawler.
long time ago, man. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Rebecca Romijn.
Don't know who that is.
She played Mystique in the early X-Men movies, all of them.
Oh, your favorite character?
Yeah. James Marsden.
Don't know who that is.
Played Cyclops in the first X-Men movies. Channing Tatum.
I know who Channing Tatum is, but I don't know who he's gonna play.
My guess is Gambit, right? You played Gambit in Deadpool.
Yeah. Sure. So.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal.
Mr. Fantastic, right?
Yep. And then the final one, Robert Downey Jr.
This is Dr. Doom.
Yep. So that's your list. Some notable absences from the list include Tom Holland, right? We're Spider-Man. No Hugh Jackman, no Ryan Reynolds, no Halle Berry or Famke Jensen.
I don't think that they would ever include Deadpool in the actual MCU ever. Like, I think he'll always have his own independent movies that are always like him running around the periphery, like doing things. But I do not see him ever being. I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but they got a bunch of people from the old X-Men movies. They didn't include Halle Berry's Storm or Famke Jensen's Jean Grey. Chris Evans wasn't on the list as either Captain America or Human Torch. Wesley Snipes isn't on there. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, which I wouldn't expect them to be. Mark Ruffalo, no Hulk. No Brie Larson, who plays Captain Marvel. No Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil. No Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel. No Tiana Paris, who played Spectrum. And I mean, there are more names that are missing, but we don't have to go through everything. So, but yeah, there's some notable absences. And then on the Tenoch Huerta, them announcing that he's coming back to play Namor, has caused some controversy because he has some sexual assault allegation against him. And so in 2023, he was accused of sexual assault by Maria Elena Rios. He denied the allegations. There's been no other complaints or allegations that have been made since. But there are people saying things about it. So with him being included in the cast for Doomsday, some MCU fans are now upset. There's been much comparison to the Jonathan Majors situation, as Majors was cast as Kang and was initially going to be the main antagonist for the fourth Avengers movie. Majors, however, was fired from his role after he was found guilty of second-degree harassment and misdemeanor assault of his ex, Grace Jabari. Here's what people are saying. One said, hey, wasn't Tenoch accused of rape? And someone else said, if they announce Tenoch Huerta next to Jonathan Majors, stands are going to be insufferable. Someone else said, there's no fucking way Marvel gives Tenoch Huerta a chair without Disney being surefire about those allegations, right? Not after the Majors incident. Someone else said, so alleged rapist who played Namor can return, but not Jonathan Majors. Interesting. Someone else said, oh, okay, so Jonathan Majors is definitely getting announced. And yeah, the biggest difference is Jonathan Majors was supposed to be like the guy, and this guy plays Namor. Like, there's not really a comparison there, in my opinion, but I don't know. Whatever. It's another one of those things where like it's social media, right? Like social media is just full of people who hate everything and want to cancel everything, and yeah, I don't know. Like one party, Jonathan Majors, was found guilty of something, and the other was accused, and nothing ever came of it. One
Mm.
had a video of him doing it, one didn't. Like, it's not to say it shouldn't be taken seriously, but do we expect Marvel to just like fire people immediately after like any accusation is made all the time? I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe that is what social media expects, but
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's strange. Yeah, it's a weird time for sure. Yeah, I just not outraged at the list or anything like that. I know we probably covered these allegations and I forgot because nothing ever probably came of them. You
yeah,
know.
we briefly talked about it, but yeah, there's nothing came out from it, and it's not like Marvel got the allegations about Jonathan Majors and fired him right away. Because I remember we would talk for like we talked about that case for maybe like 6 months before they did anything about it, and we had said at the time they're probably waiting because they don't want to be too hasty and pull the trigger so fast, the way they did with James Gunn, because they ended
Yeah.
up bringing him back eventually anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then yeah, Ben Affleck talked about his version of Batman and kind of things that went wrong. So he was being interviewed by GQ, and he continued to reflect on what went wrong with his run as Batman in Zack Snyder's DC universe. The Oscar winner debuted as the Dark Knight in 2016's BVS, and reprised his role in Justice League and The Flash. He told the LA Times in 2022 that playing Batman was, quote, awful and, quote, the worst experience. Affleck is now opening up more about why. He said, there are a number of reasons why that was a really excruciating experience, and they don't all have to do with the simple dynamic of, say, being in a superhero movie or whatever. I'm not interested in going down that particular genre again, not because of that bad experience, but just I've lost interest in what was of interest about it to me. But I certainly wouldn't want to replicate an experience like that. A lot of it was misalignment of agendas, understandings, expectations, and also, by the way, I wasn't bringing anything particularly wonderful to the equation at the time either. I had my own failings, significant failings in that process and at that time. I mean, my failings was, as an actor, you can watch the various movies and judge, but more of my failings of in terms of why I had a bad experience, part of it is that what I was bringing to work every day was a lot of unhappiness, so I wasn't bringing a lot of positive energy to the equation. I didn't cause problems, but I came in and I did my job and I went home, but you've got to do a little bit better than that. Affleck now runs the production company Artists Equity and said part of his attraction to that is, quote, actually a way of trying to avoid what went down during the Batman days. He explained, I want to put together partnerships and filmmakers and cast and a studio apparatus that's aligned where precisely that kind of misalignment doesn't happen and you have a much better work experience. While the actor had good moments on set and liked creatively his approach to Batman as a sort of older, broken, damaged Bruce Wayne, a clash started to brew over his Dark Knight and the larger DC universe being too adult. He said, what happened was it started to skew too old for a big part of the audience. Like, even my own son at the time was too scared to watch the movie. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, we have a problem. Then I think that's when you had a filmmaker that wanted to continue down that road and a studio that wanted to recapture the younger audience at the cross purposes. Then you have two entities, two people really wanting to do something different. That is a really bad recipe. So it's nothing we didn't already know, more or less. Like, WB wanted one thing and Zack Snyder wanted another thing. And what Zack Snyder wanted wasn't necessarily working anyway. So there's that. And then the final, it's like nothing news, but we know Harry Potter is getting a reboot TV series, and they have cast someone to play Hagrid now. and that person is Nick Frost. Nick Frost is known for something. I don't really know what, but he was in like Evil Dead or something. He was in some movie with Simon Pegg early on in his career. I don't know what the movie, but anyway, he's gonna play Hagrid, and that's it. Yeah. So more casting. People are still gonna be mad about the all the castings, and an American playing Dumbledore and a black guy playing Snape, and oh my god, the humanity. So
Yeah, hopefully the series doesn't suck. That's all I'm gonna say about all that. I just want to watch good shows
yeah,
that entertain me and distract me from everything else going on in my life and abroad and everything like that. So I just want the shows I consume to be good and to not be shit. And it just depends. Like for Snake that doesn't have any Snape is Snape, right? Like you
yeah.
literally play it's not like they literally don't go into his personal. It's not about his personal family history.
I mean,
It's
yeah. The only problem that I can foresee with it is that he is relentlessly bullied by Harry's dad and his friends when he's younger, and like I worry that they're gonna make it in some way like have racial undertones, and like that's not how you should paint our hero's father and his friends, right? Like the people he looks up to.
Well, they were all dicks. That was the point, right? Wasn't that like one of the themes in the book was that Harry's dad was like a complete asshole? Like he literally was an asshole to Snape for like no reason,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he was.
And
He wasn't. Him
him
and
and
his
his
friends were
friends.
assholes to Snape because Snape had greasy hair and a crooked nose and looked,
So they were
like
fucking mocking him
sallow and
based on his physical appearance anyway.
yeah. It's one thing though to make fun of
No.
someone for their greasy hair than to be like, brother, you are, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's a little bit of a stretch here. Like, I just think like I could have sworn like his dad being an asshole was like one of the themes. Is like that's why like Snape hated Harry so much because his dad was a fucking asshole to him.
Well, he
So
hated Harry because yes, Harry's dad
and
was
he
an
had
asshole to him, but also because
and he
Harry's
has his
dad
mother
married the woman he loved. So
loved. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like he just ruined his life. So
yeah. And
yeah,
everything Snape did in his whole life was because he loved Lily.
yeah,
So he's kind of a simp, to be honest.
yeah, that is true, isn't it? But that's just how it be sometimes.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the Netflix version of A Series of Unfortunate Events?
Nope.
Hmm. Did you ever read those books?
I did. I loved them as a kid.
You just had no interest in watching the live action adaptation with Neil Patrick Harris as Count, not Dooku, Count Olaf.
Kind of off. Yeah, not really.
I remember I watched like when it first came out, but I stopped at a certain point. I don't remember why. So, but I was just curious if you enjoyed it or not, because I mean I feel like that's kind of the path Netflix would go with the Harry Potter stuff, right? It's kind of like similar to that kind of production. So, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Wait, it's not even Netflix though that's doing it, right? It's HBO Max, so it's kind of irrelevant. Never mind. Those things are not connected at all. Anyway, but yeah, Daredevil is getting good. It's getting good, and
And there's
I hope the Avengers cast for Doomsday is out there. There was a notable exception from someone who is going to be in Thunderbolts but not in Doomsday, and people are thinking that means that person is going to die in Thunderbolts, so they think it's a spoiler. I think there's more castings to maybe come, but who knows? Don't know.
Yeah, all the Doomsday seems like a really exciting thing.
Oh
All
yeah.
things considered, that's like a huge cast of like that's like everybody, so
Yep, it is
surprised there
massive.
aren't more. Yeah, so surprised there aren't more people like with how like broad it is, but all we can do is wait and see.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of what we expected. When I say we, but general we, right? Like we expected that Doomsday and Secret Wars would be this convergence between the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and our current like heroes, right? And so like it's mostly like Phase 5 things that are going on here with the Thunderbolts being in there for the most part, Shang-Chi and some of the others, right? And then there's some notable exceptions, but it's like pretty much a collection of different groups that you'd kind of expect to be there.
Yep.
But the X-Men ones are the more surprising ones. Like you would think they would, we don't know where they're going with it yet. These could just be like kind of cameo roles for the X-Men, but you would think moving forward in the MCU, they're definitely going to recast these characters, right? Like they're not going to have Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen at their ages just continue to play Professor X and Magneto, right?
I think you'd be surprised.
Isn't Ian McKellen like in his 90s? Isn't he like 90
Yeah.
something?
At first, I could have wait, isn't that the guy that died? But that was Count Dooku.
Yeah, that was Christopher Lee.
Yep.
Yeah. Was he ever in a Marvel movie? I don't think so. I think he was just Saruman and Count Dooku. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's exciting, but we still have what, like is it 2 years, or does that come out next year? It might be 2 years. Don't know. Anyway, also just to toot my own horn, I got promoted at work, so
Congratulations.
yeah.
You work hard, you deserve it. You're fashionable. Are you the office fashionista now? Chief fashionista?
No, that's not my official title, but yeah, I am the best dressed, at least in my on the first floor. So there are 3 floors total, and I can't speak for the other floors because I don't work on them. But yeah, I'm probably the best dressed person on my floor. At least 3 out of the 5 days of the week. Some days, I'm a little lazy with the outfit, so I wear like just more casual. But for the most part, and it's not just what you wear; it's how you wear it, and how you coordinate. Like the thing that makes you stand out the most is the shoes you wear. I'll say that. Like anybody could wear a dress shirt and some nice pants, and you all look the same. But if you wear your like certain shoes and certain styles, then it's gonna put you over the tippy top.
Get those wingtip Oxfords, bro.
No, I just like unique styles. Like a lot of times they're kind of like loafers or like kind of like dress shoes, but like with different textures or like some wording or different patterns. Sometimes you just go with the classic like some velvet black shoes with like the horse bit, kind of on it. Like those are nice. Anything with tassels can be a little out there. It's just if it's unique, people are more drawn to it, Whereas like if you just wear like brown dress shoes and black slacks and a white shirt tucked in, like you look nice, but no one's gonna be like, oh my, people are just gonna be like, oh, you look nice. So little things. Anyway, that's not really why we're here, but while we're tooting our horns and all that. Anyway, what's going on with you?
No, just chugging along, figuring it all out, same as usual. Upgrading my gaming PC soon. Saved up some money to upgrade my PC. That's really about it.
Nice.
Not really doing a whole lot. Nothing interesting going on over here.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it then, and we'll just say follow and like and rate and review and subscribe, and also I watched Kraven the Hunter, and yeah, I recorded a little thing about it, but I haven't put it out yet. It's just waiting for its opportunity for you to hear all my thoughts about Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven.
Yeah. Are you
craving some taco chips?
Are you gonna watch it?
Your episode or Kraven the Hunter?
No, the movie.
Probably not. No. I'd rather spend my time watching anime. Like, if you want me to, I will.
No.
Talk about it, but like.
No. Like, really, the summary is the plot is awful, and there's some interesting, fun action in it. That's it. Like, it's a bad movie, but it's entertaining in spurts.
Mm.
So, it's boring in other spurts, but the action is quite entertaining. That's it. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Do all the things. Bye. Say bye, Chase.
Alright, guys, get me off the internet.